Hello everyone, today we will talk about the transit of the Moon. The transiting Moon is in sextile with natal Saturn. How the transiting Moon in sextile with natal Saturn will behave depends on the position of natal Saturn. This transit may be more prominent in your life if you already have planets in aspect with your natal Saturn. But the basics are as follows. When the transiting Moon is in sextile with the natal Saturn, we get a sense of stability and security in our personal and domestic life. This is a gentle click of alignment between feeling and structure, and as such provides opportunities to effectively focus on all aspects of the structure and foundations that support our lives and need attention. So don't ignore your feelings, even if things seem calm. It's not the time to push your emotions or act like feelings don't matter. The transiting Moon's sextile to Saturn, which you currently perceive as your emotional world and list of obligations finally coming together, will make you self-confident, practical, persistent and organized. Emotional toughness prepares you to solve complex or challenging problems with emotional maturity, self-discipline, care and patience. Working with this transit is less about perfection and more about dignity, because when feeling gets a backbone, it becomes reliable rather than dramatic. Small promises that are born restore trust, boundaries become a form of kindness that protects tenderness instead of hiding it. In this more stable light, self-esteem quietly grows, and the life you build begins to feel like a home you can always return to. For many, socializing will not seem important now, given your more restrained emotional nature. But this is a good time to share deeper, more serious emotions with loved ones. Therefore, try not to push your loved ones away just to appear strong or independent. You will need their support more than you think, because commitment, loyalty or the family home are topics of interest now. If there are aspects of your life that have recently caused you fear or anxiety, today in these few hours it is good to scan your environment in search of sources of support and relationships with which you will connect, and which will help you feel more secure in your current circumstances. Either way, the transit itself will bring out your reliable side in the best possible way, and tasks that usually seem overwhelming will suddenly seem doable, because your feelings won't get in the way of doing those things, but will cooperate. Eventually, your relationships will gain a boost to maturity, as they communicate from a more stable place rather than pure emotion. It's not a dramatic transformation, but more like finding a foothold on solid ground. The stability you build during this time tends to remain even after the transit has passed. As we have already mentioned, when the transiting Moon sextiles natal Saturn, feeling and form are briefly found without friction, and the result is a quiet consolidation, not a wave. The emotional tone tends to solidify just enough that it can be acted upon with less static, less drift, more of a sense of knowing where to put your hands. Because the Moon moves quickly across the sky, this alignment is a short window, a constant visit rather than a long season, coming and going with the rhythm of the tides. What it tends to leave behind is small, but it is real, the task accomplished, the limitation maintained. So if it's cross times, now you can be a responsible and reliable man to whom others turn. On the other hand, this transit also ensures common sense, reliability of intuition and good memory, so it is easier for you to work, because you are disciplined, and you approach your daily obligations at a patient pace. Individuals will find that in these sections they can reflect on their current progress toward higher life goals, assess areas they need to focus more on, and how to better manage their available time and space. You will also realize that you need to spend less time on worldly ambitions and more time on taking care of your inner emotional needs. So feelings now want structure, not to be contained because of fear, but to feel safe enough to breathe. There is a sense of inner housekeeping, cleaning out the cluttered corners of the heart, sorting out what is yours to keep from what is inherited. Most will notice a gravitation towards quieter spaces, firm routines, and conversations with people who have lived long enough to speak simply. Either way, don't avoid responsibilities at home or with your family, because you still feel a protective urge towards your family and community for a reason. The moon wants to show its care through practical support, not through public displays of love. Respect for tradition will motivate you to connect with your elders or ancestors, which will prove to be very beneficial. Therefore, use these few hours either by visiting family or simply by looking at family photos from the album.